In June 2024, my lifelong biggest dream came true. My unexpected but ordained trip to New York finally happened. It was everything that I dreamt of and more. Let's back up. In 1986, when I was 8 years old, I watched a movie that showcased New York. It was then when I first fell in love with New York City. Something inside me came alive, and that's when my dream to go to New York started. When I was 12 years old, I watched a film that showcased the ghettos of New York, Brooklyn, New York in particular. Now, this is when I knew that I needed to go to New York. My heart longed to go to New York to help the broken and the lost. When I was 18, just after I graduated, I moved into my very first apartment. To me, it was a New York-inspired apartment with city views located downtown and, interestingly enough, on a street called Broadway. The building was a red brick building with immense character both inside and out, just like you'd see in the streets of New York. I used to sit on the edge of the character-framed, swing-open window, people watch, and dream of being in New York. I had such a longing and a passion that I had to fulfill, and New York became almost an obsession. I even named my two daughters Brooklyn and Madison after New York. What's your name, Tim? Yeah, one moment, honey. Okay. Just tell me. She's almost 2 months old. And that's me. And there's my beautiful Brooklyn. Even my family knew how much I loved the city. My 40th birthday was a surprise New York themed party that my family and friends threw for me.
Away! I wish that I could really go to New York with all of you!
My boyfriend Levi and I then headed to Las Vegas, where we stayed at the iconic New York themed hotel.
You guys, look at where we are! The New York hotel! Oh my god! Oh my god, this is so surreal! Living my dream.
Another passion that had been going alongside of New York was anything culinary and culture. When I learned that Queens, New York is the culture capital of the world and that within just a few square miles there are more than 200 languages spoken, I knew that New York and I had a connection like no other. I'd spent pretty much my whole life dreaming, reminiscing, manifesting, and praying that one day I'd make it to the best city in the world. And I did. So now that you've heard about my undeniable love for New York, you are probably wondering how it all came about. When I found out that content creator Dominique Saxa, who I admire so very much, announced that she was going to Brooklyn, New York, and we had the opportunity to meet her, I immediately felt like this is meant to be. I mean, Dominique Saxa in Brooklyn, New York? My firstborn is named after the borough. I remember my heart started beating and tears filled my eyes. Something inside me rose up. I had a feeling that I can't explain, but it felt as though it was my time to go to New York. But then I remembered we are going on a family vacation a month before. There is no way that this can happen. So I tried to let it go, but I couldn't stop thinking about it. A few days later, Levi and I were talking, and New York organically came up in conversation. I shared with him my heart and about Dominique Saxa going to New York. I will never forget what Levi said. "You really admire this woman, hey? I think that this is something that you need to do." At that moment, I knew that I was going to New York. I promise I will share my incredible trip with you, but it was what happened after New York that was even more life-changing. You see, I'd lived out my dream of going to New York, but now what? I didn't really have any more dreams. I mean, I had a dream to go back to New York and to get my dream car, which I ended up getting just a few months later. But now what? After my trip to New York, I fell into a very low place. I was becoming increasingly frustrated, angry, and depressed, eating unhealthy comfort foods, slowly getting out of shape. Around that time, I learned about a lady named Terry Savelle Floyd. Cheerleader of dreams is what she calls herself. I began reading her books, watching her videos. One video in particular that I saw was called Wake Up Call. It spoke to me deeply, and on that day was when I had an absolute wake-up call. It was then when I realized I had to get my life in order. You might be thinking, wait, what? You just lived out 3 of your dreams. A family trip, purchased a new car, a lifelong dream trip to New York? Yes, I did. But my house was a mess. I was in debt. I had anger, bitterness, and unforgiveness towards myself and towards others. I had a mostly unhealthy diet, a very inconsistent workout routine. I had no daily routine, no goals, and my evenings typically consisted of watching other people live their dreams. I may have appeared to have it all together, but I didn't. Then, one day, I took a long, hard look at my life. I remember that morning lying in bed and reflecting back on the series that I had been binge watching, Locked Up Abroad. Travelers who experience prison life or being captured in foreign countries around the world, their hellish encounters, and how they overcame traumatic experiences. As I lied there, I suddenly felt this hope come over me, and I thought, if someone can overcome such incredible hardships, I sure can overcome this. I in no way can say that what I was going through was what the prisoners endured, but I was still in a low place, and I too felt in prison. I was determined to find a way out and take my life back. And that's when I decided I was going to take a trip around the world. Well, kind of, sort of. I awoke in my spiritual journey derived from practices around the globe, like meditation, prayer, and journaling. I began executing physical fitness derived from around the world, such as yoga, Zumba, and salsa. I started implementing health and nutrition by incorporating worldwide ingredients such as Mediterranean staples, Asian ingredients, and Latin American sources. I immersed myself in self-care and wellness through global rituals and practices like Swedish fika, Chinese gua sha, and Colombian wood therapy. I enhanced my personal development by exploring new culinary and cultural activities like exploring ethnic markets, preparing ethnic cuisines, and volunteering teaching cooking classes to newcomers at the Immigration Center. I even improved my physical environment by decluttering and organizing my global themed spaces, such as my ethnic dishware, cookware, and kitchen tools. When I said I have a passion for everything culinary and culture, I wasn't kidding. This trip around the world was more than I could imagine. I began to deal with things that I had been avoiding for years, hard things, deep and painful things, and I slowly felt myself begin to heal. Personal growth was taking place, and I gave myself permission to dream, and I set new goals and now had so much to look forward to. It was as if I was reminded of dreams that I had hidden in my heart that I'd forgotten about. At times, part of this journey wasn't easy. I cried, I got frustrated, I got angry, I failed. But I also healed, laughed, felt inspired and empowered, and more than anything, awoke in my mind, body, soul, and spirit. And it led me to you. Hi everyone, my name is Tiffany. Thank you for traveling to our kitchen, where we travel the world through culinary and culture right here in our city, as well as share our hearts and inspire you to live your dreams. A year ago, I began documenting my life-changing journey, or better said, my trip around the world, and I want to share the ingredients to this recipe that we call life. Maybe you feel like you're captive and imprisoned like the travelers and I did, and that you too need a trip around the world. Whether you need to restore your mind, body, soul, and spirit, or just want to learn about new cuisine and culture, my goal is to make this a safe space where anyone and everyone from around the world will feel love, connection, peace, uplifted, and inspired, so much more. If you clicked on this video, I believe that you are here for a reason. Thank you for being here. And always remember that you are amazing, you are loved, and you are special.